I was raised that the people that matter are the ones that give back and volunteer to their community. And for me, as a commissioner, you can make decisions every single day that help to try to make your community a better place. I love that bridge. It's beautiful. It's been known as the Singing Bridge. We're here at my grandmother's house, and so growing up, I sat here and listened to the bridge sing all the time. If the bridge wasn't here, people wouldn't have childcare. People won't be able to get to work. I don't even like to think about what it would be like without the bridge because I can't fathom the possibility of it. We'll either fix that thing or we'll build a new one, and there's no other options.
The way I think about it is that we have 3 small cities which function as one community, but they're separated by this bridge. And if you think about what you do in a normal day and imagine what the community would be like without being able to get to your doctor's appointment over in Hood River or to get to a restaurant in White Salmon, it's just hard to imagine how our community would function without that.
Morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
A lot of the locals ask, why are we still paying tolls on the bridge? The Dalles Bridge used to have a toll and it came off, and the 97 bridge out by Biggs was tolled for a long time. Once they paid off the debt, it went away. Why do we still pay on the Hood River Bridge? And the simple reason is those bridges are owned by the state governments. And when those bonds were paid off, the state took over the maintenance and repair of that, and they use fuel gas tax funds to do that. So the current bridge is owned by the Port of Hood River and does not have access to fuel tax. And the new bridge will be in that same boat. So the maintenance and operation of that bridge has to be borne by the public that uses it. On top of that, when we talk about building the new bridge, when you're asking the state governments for money, you have to show that the locals are willing to pitch in too. What I like to say is it's a quarter, and the local community is going to come up with a quarter. State of Washington is doing all their part to come up with their quarter right now. We're going through the Oregon legislature to hopefully come up with their quarter, and then we can go to the feds. What everybody wants to talk about is what's that mean for tolls? How do we come up with our quarter? And what it comes down to is that's going to be a TIFIA loan. And so that's a loan from the federal government at a low interest rate. In order to receive the TIFIA loan, you have to show that you have A, cash on hand, B, that you can pay back that loan. We're in the really fortunate situation where we've got almost 100 years of tolls that can show what this bridge is capable of and the amount of trips, and that people are already accustomed to paying tolls. They're not going to divert around the bridge. In order to qualify for that loan, we have to raise enough reserves between now and 2028, and that's going to look like between $15 and $20 million. In order to raise those reserves, the Port of Hood River has recently enacted a toll rate increase that's going to take effect September 1st. The new breeze-by tolls will be $1.75 per pass, and the new cash toll will be $3.50. 100% of these toll increases are going to go into a dedicated account held by the new Bi-State Bridge Authority for the express purposes of this local match.
The design, the concepts, the plans, the timeline, I think it's a great plan. To be honest, I was expecting maybe a higher toll, a higher cost to the community, but to me it seems very realistic, actually pretty reasonable.
I mean, I'm like anybody else. I want to save money, but you know, I think it's cheap for what you have to do and the cost to maintain it. So we get a bargain.
I think the thing that's most important to me is currently the transit service that goes across the bridge is not tolled, and I would like to make sure that that remains that way both now and in the future.
You know, when thinking about it, I'm thinking about the broader community, like especially the people that depend on crossing the bridge once, twice, 3 times a day, or whatever, 3 times a week, but it's still, right? For them, if the increase was considerable, it would have a big impact on their lives.
In the modern era, with electronic tolling, it gives you the chance to look more at equity issues and at ways that underserved or unserved communities can be addressed. So there's everything from the ability of people to walk across, which you couldn't do before, or bike across, which you couldn't do before, but also with electronic tolling, there's the ability or opportunity to give toll rate assistance to folks who need it. Providing for those folks is going to be critical in the tolling structure.
I don't want to pay more tolls. I don't think anybody wants to pay more tolls. But I think there is a realization that the bridge is declining. No matter what, bridge tolls have to go up just to provide for the long-term maintenance of this bridge if we aren't able to get the state or federal funding. Because unless all this funding comes together, that's where we're going to be. We're going to be spending $100 million just to keep this thing in operation for the next 15 years. I'd rather put that $100 million into a new bridge, and that's why we're all working tirelessly to get us there.